Ian Barseagle took every single set to failure. But was he actually right? Well, science, experts, and lifters don't all agree on whether that's genius or a huge mistake. Jan is a pro athlete, also known as the 188 centimeters, 96 kilograms calisthenics beast, famous for his minimalist yet effective training style that requires you to train till complete failure in almost every set. So, to understand whether he was right or not, we should take into consideration three big factors. The first one being the types of failure. You ever notice how training till failure feels fine? Until you try to walk to your car after squats? Just kidding, that's not what I actually meant by types of failure. See, guys like Jeff Cavaliere, also known as Athlean X, argue you must define what kind of failure you're actually chasing. Otherwise, the word failure doesn't mean much at all. So in training, there are three types of failure. There is form failure, where your technique breaks down, mechanical failure, where the bar just doesn't move anymore, and eccentric failure, where you can't even lower the weight under control. So when Jan said train till complete failure, which kind of failure was he talking about? Well, Jan himself said,
You start your working set, you do dips non-stop, until non-stop becomes tough, you take a pause, 2-3 seconds, boom, 1 rep, 2, 3, 4 seconds, 1 rep, and so on until you achieve failure.
So yeah, he really meant mechanical failure. The bar doesn't move. Easy, right? Well, not once science sticks its nose in. Jeff Nippard points out that going to failure on every set isn't always better for muscle growth. Research shows mixed results. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it backfires. What's clear is this: if you never push close to failure, you're probably leaving gains on the table. But if you go all out, every set, every workout, you risk stalling or overtraining. In fact, studies show that taking a set all the way to failure does increase muscle activation. You're literally recruiting the smaller, stubborn muscle fibers that only kick in when you've got nothing left in the tank. That's why failure can be a powerful stimulus for growth. But here's the problem. Once those fibers are recruited, doing even more sets to failure doesn't add much benefit. It mostly just adds more fatigue. That's why most experts say the sweet spot is to train close to failure most of the time and save true failure for a few key sets or exercises. So, was the 188 centimeter, 96 kilogram beast wrong? Well, not exactly. So it's true that training every set till failure may stall your progress or even get risky, and it's also true that Jan said to take every set till complete failure. But before you get confused, click off and decide to read a whole book on Why Failure is the Enemy by Biceps Aurelius. You must know the real reason why he's not completely wrong. And to do that, there's an important detail you've got to understand first. And that is total volume and sets. You see, Jan's training method revolves around doing 2 exercises for each muscle with only 2 sets each. So that means that the total volume for his sessions is really low, which in fact allows him to train till complete failure without worrying about overtraining or stalling progress. And on the contrary, if you usually perform 4 to 5 exercises per muscle for 3 to 4 sets each, then training till failure on every set is not recommended and can lead to more damage than good. So what do you do in that case? Pick 2 exercises in which you train till complete failure in, and leave the rest of the exercises close to failure with 2 to 3 reps in reserve. The whole idea of training till failure is that you can get as a result more muscle stimulation and growth. But here's the twist. More stimulation doesn't always equal more results. If you're smashing yourself to failure on every single set, your recovery takes a hit, and over time, you can actually grow less. So, yes, Jan wasn't wrong. His minimalist style works for him because his total volume is low, and that allows him to hit failure on every set without wrecking his progress. But for the average lifter doing 20+ sets a session, failure on everything is just failure. So every time you want to increase the intensity, aka train till failure, you lower the total volume for that day, and vice versa. Now, if you want to know how to start using Ian Barseagle's 2-set method to train every set till failure, then you can watch this video right here.